Okay, we are now going to go back to 7.0, which is citizens participation. And the Lexington County School District 1 Board of Trustees provides a time for citizens participation at each regular board meeting. There are a few guidelines, of course. First, in order to speak, you must be a parent or legal guardian of a student in Lexington County School District 1 or a resident and taxpayer of the district. Second, you will have 3 minutes. Third, you may comment on an agenda item, school operations, programs, policies, or other matters of concerns. However, you may not speak about specific individuals, whether students or staff. There are other ways to bring situations like that to the board's attention. We want to give everyone a chance who came to speak tonight an opportunity for you to speak. For that reason, board members may not reply to your individual remarks. And if someone makes the point or points you came to make before you, if you could just state that you agree with the previous speakers and not restate every point, that would also help us. We also ask that you not clap or make any comments either while an individual is speaking or after a speaker finishes, as that also slows down the process considerably. If you wanted to speak tonight, we ask that you fill out a card that gives us your name and address for our records. Those cards were on our sign-in table as you came into the meeting. If you have not filled out a card and still wish to speak, hold up your hand, and our communications department will provide you with a card. Okay, right here. Got one right here. Okay, so at this time, I'm going to call on Miss Martha Gilman. She is going to discuss our school drug testing policy. She lives at 328, Miss Gilman? 328 Churchview Loop. She is the mother of a student at Carolina Springs Middle School. Okay, Miss Gilman.
Hi, good afternoon. Today, my son was kicked off of the lacrosse team because I signed your Lexington drug testing policy, and I requested to be present during the drug testing because I found out that your school district is extracting DNA swabs from children's mouths. You have not provided any information about the company processing this DNA. You have not described how their data collection is done, how it's disposed of, how it's tracked, if the student's name or ID number is affected, if they are selling the information to 23andMe or any other entity. I also, based off of your generic, incomplete school policy, gives me no information about who you're using. It doesn't give me any information about the company, what their processes are, or how they even control the student's information or identification to these DNA samples. I pulled up another policy for another school district, which actually clearly outlines that other parents have the opportunity to be present when their children are DNA tested. However, none of y'all's policies even come close to being adequate or thorough. So with that being stated, I signed your policy. I requested to be present. But actually, your white and old athletics director called me today and said, you, the board, rejected my request to be present with my 14-year-old son while your school actually conducts a medical procedure on my son. My second point is they're not using your urine. They are using your children's DNA from their lip. They haven't told us anything about the company.
Ms. Gilman, you're supposed to be talking. You're talking
Well,
to us.
I
If you don't
think-
mind, we can't hear you when
Okay.
you turn around.
So you haven't even remotely provided any parent with how that DNA is being protected. Are they selling it to 23andMe? Are they using my son's information for genetic testing? are they storing it for whatever reasons they want to? Why are you not using urine samples? Why would you use a minor's DNA to drug test? All you should be drug testing for is illegal drugs. I actually contacted Gregory Little today, and he did not return my call. I actually spoke to your White Knoll athletics director, which I won't name according to your policy, and he absolutely denied that my son could participate, even though I signed the form.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Gilman. Your time is up.
I also would like to provide evidence that other school districts give parents the option to attend their drug testing.
Okay, thank you so much.
I am requesting that immediately my son be put back on the lacrosse team tomorrow. Otherwise, I feel like this is a civil rights problem.
Okay.
And it is a civil rights
Okay, thank you, Ms.
violation.
Gilman. We're going to go ahead and, I think your husband's speaking next, so unless do you want to defer to her?
No, I'd like my own time for the
Okay, great. Okay. At this time, we're going to call up Bob Gilman. He is going to talk about our current drug testing policy. He is also a parent of a rising ninth grader. He's, I think, related. That's your son. And he resides at 328 Churchview Loop Road. Okay, Mr. Gilman?
That's right. I'm going to, first of all, say I agree with my wife's comments.
Sure.
Oh, absolutely, sorry. I agree with my wife's comments. I just wanted to add a couple of points. I do believe that the policy itself is not thorough. It's weak. It lacks a lot of specificity that other policies include. So I'm asking that the policy be looked at. I don't know the date of the policy either, but there was a point in time where this board, and fully aware that a lot of the policies were not updated. In fact, many of them had been old and had not been updated in a number of years. So I'd like the policy itself to be looked at. Number two, I really want to emphasize this one point. Martha agreed with and signed the form for Matthew to be able to participate. And then he was kicked off the team because she simply asked for what I would say reasonable accommodations to be present. That's all. This is not an unreasonable request. It's simply you're present when your child is tested. And Matthew, who you see sitting right here, this kid was so excited, and the coach was so excited to have a rising ninth grader be interested in the lacrosse team, only to be surprised by the phone call that, no, you can't participate, even though you've agreed to the policy. So we're simply asking that the policy be looked at hard, be much more specific, allow reasonable accommodations, and the policy actually spell out specifically, as Martha said, what are you doing with the information? How's it being disposed of? We all are sensitive to our personal information being protected. There's no language in the current policy that speaks to that. It's very void. So please update the policy. Please reinstate this kid to play lacrosse. And it's just a reasonable thing to expect. That's all.
Thank you, Mr. Gilman. Dr. Little, would you like to have Mr. Caldwell call them tomorrow or and go over that? Okay, great. We'll have Mr. Caldwell, who's over our student affairs, touch base with you tomorrow and kind of walk you through that policy. And thank you for bringing that to our attention. Well, no, I know that, but walk through your concerns and answer your concerns. Okay, at this time, I'm going to call up Miss Billy Garris. She's going to talk about field trips, and Miss Garris lives at 207 Centerville Road in Gilbert, and she's a senior at Gilbert High School. Billy?
Good afternoon, Chair Smith and board members. I'm not going to speak long because y'all just hit on this, but I have an upcoming field trip, and at school today, all the kids were talking about the possibility of their field trip being canceled because of this coronavirus. However, I'm asking that instead of canceling the field trips, that you give parents the option to send their children without district's approval. It's my understanding that in the past, parents have been given this option. Thank you, and I hope you would consider my request.
Okay, thank you, Billy.
Thank you.
Okay, and now we're going to call on Jamie O'Neill. She's going to talk about a TRIDAC audition request. She lives at 140 Whisper Lake Drive. She has a student at Northside Christian Academy, and go ahead, Miss O'Neill.
Good evening. Thank you for your time. Can you hear me? It's not automatic.
Look on, yeah.
Hang on, we'll bring you some technical support right here. Absolutely.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you, board, for hearing me. My name is Jamie O'Neill, and I am the mother of 3 students. The student I come to speak to you about, her name is Mary Scott O'Neill. She's my middle child, and she's a very talented artist. I've been in contact with TRIDAC as she is finally getting to the point where she can take advantage of such an amazing opportunity that Lexington 1 District offers. It's TRIDAC. They have visual arts, creative arts, theatrical arts, as you know. So I called as a mother and nominated her in January 15th, to please allow her to audition. I am not requesting her a spot. I think it depends on her own merits, but I have been denied for her request to audition. And the reason they're stating is that she attends a private school. I've been in touch with Kelly Rooks, Ms. Rooks, who's the TRIDAC representative here in this district. She forwarded the email. So I spoke with her, I emailed her. I got a response February 19th that stated that charter school students, homeschool students, and Lexington 1 public school students are allowed to audition. However, we choose a Christian-based education for our children, and there is not a public Christian-based education for my babies. And so therefore, I forward her a lengthy email with all due respect, wondering why we are being persecuted for our choices in a private school setting when homeschoolers, charter schoolers, and everyone else that I aforementioned has the opportunity to audition. She said that she would forward it. She forwarded it on February 20th to the Chief Student Services Officer. It is March 3rd. I have yet to receive a reply. The audition is coming up on March 7th, and I believe that it is just simply not okay that my child, my daughter, doesn't have an opportunity to explore her artistic, God-given talents in such an amazing forum during the summer. She's not one that can go and spend the night over. She's not an overnight camper. We've tried that and it just doesn't work. Therefore, I've just come to you as a mom and as someone that I just really don't understand why homeschoolers get the opportunity, charter schoolers get the opportunity. I am an equal serving taxpayer. I own a business in this town. I pay plenty of taxes, and I'm not requesting for her to have an automatic spot. I just simply request the fact that she gets to audition and be either approved or denied on her own merit. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. O'Neill.
And in addition, sorry, quickly. She's going into 6th grade, and so as a proud mom, these are just some sketches.
Beautiful.
They don't have these opportunities in this Christian school they don't have the opportunity for my daughter to excel in order to gain governor's school artistic opportunities in this school. Thank you, I'm sorry. And like, here's a painting, and she does several different methods, but I simply request that you please reconsider this, and I look forward to a response, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
I appreciate
Might
it.
have Dr. Talley contact her tomorrow. Okay, we'll have Dr. Talley right there. She's in charge of the educational side of our district. We'll have her contact you, Ms. O'Neill. We'll give her your information. Thank you. We appreciate you bringing that to our attention. We appreciate all of you bringing those issues to our attention.